There's many things in this world that should not exist. For example, pineapples on pizza or ice cream on french fries. But there's nothing more hideous, more vile than what I'm about to show you today, and that is summon Reaper Juggernaut. Not only have I gone off the deep end and sacrificed what little sanity I have left, but I've also indulged in a combination so truly evil that it sapped my life of all joy and happiness. So as you can see, this is my Summon Reaper Juggernaut. It offers one of the most toxic relationships in raid class by summoning a tall anime goth girlfriend that leaves you whenever you need her most. But since you're so convinced that you can fix her, you keep her around in hopes that she'll one day deal enough damage to farm T1 essences. Now by this point, most men would have given up on this build and rerolled to Bone Shatter, but not me, for I am a world-class simp and I have a heart of gold forged by my room temperature IQ. Not only have I devoted my lifeblood and sanity to making this build work, but I've also promised to take her hand in marriage as soon as Elon Musk figures out how to bring anime waifus to real life. But since that won't happen for another decade or so, you guys are gonna have to settle for a short video guide. So to start off this build, you're gonna need the most popular unique helmet of 3.20. This build makes use of a total of 7 auras, and you're gonna need this item to support your bad life decisions. Another caveat to this build is that it has absolute dogshit clearing capabilities. In order to make up for this, you'll need to grab this sorry excuse of an item to ensure that you don't blow out your own brains. I also forgot that this is a bleed build. As if playing minion builds in 3.21 is not cancerous enough, I decided to make this a damage over time minion build. Slap that shit on a Juggernaut and you'll soon realize why Darkness Enthroned is starting to become an absolute necessity. Because we hate playing with poor people, I also made sure to grab an All's Uprising that removes Pride Reservation. Combine that with these rings and body armor and you'll finally have a build that can defeat Kitava. Now if we take a look at the weapon of choice, you'll begin to realize why this is one of the most cursed builds I've ever played. Even in my wildest dreams, I never imagined I would play a bleed minion build on a bow-wielding Juggernaut. Now since we all know that I do not possess the minimum cognitive requirements to craft this weapon, I naturally had to bribe a developer to spawn in the item manually. One of my favorite things about this build is that it requires me to use multiple keybinds. By requiring the use of so many buttons on the keyboard, I'm reminded of how I used to love playing League of Legends and have the free will to uninstall and play that instead. But of course, since I'm not addicted to Path of Exile and do not harbor a toxic parasocial relationship with a non-sentient minion, I decide to log into raid class and play with this build instead. Taking a look at our quiver, this is probably the only reason why I might have considered not playing this build, since it applies highly synergistic mechanics that would deter the average PoE casual. By using Replica Maloney's mechanism with Ensnaring Arrow, Mirage Archer, and GMP, we can guarantee optimal uptime for Ensnaring Arrow while also applying the effects of Temp Chains and Asenath's Gentle Touch. This is probably the highest IQ mechanic of this build, and had there been any more synergies like this, I think this build would have been disqualified from my build making guidelines. Now if you're wondering if this build will make you addicted to Path of Exile, I can assure you that it absolutely will not. It is a dogshit build for a dogshit game, and my addiction for Path of Exile is nothing short of a chronic mental illness. That's all I wanted to talk about today, so yeah.